Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to take a look today at really in the medium and large category for daily drivers. I do have a small one in here with the Titan. I think that's a better representation than something like the Aurora, where it's really the Aurora is just not a real ship that you would want. I mean, you can use it as a daily driver, but it's really just a starter pack ship, and there isn't a lot of capabilities there. That being said, something like the Titan here is a good representation of what you could use or live with at daily driver, and be representative of that category. Obviously, the Zeus being a good medium category, and then the large category here being represented by the Taurus, which at this point is probably the cream of the crop as far as large goes. Obviously, with the Corsair nerf going through, there's other ships that are in the size category that would also be good, but honestly, it's a pretty good daily single seat or single pilot type of ship. So we'll take a look at some of these, especially in comparison of the medium and large there, what the differences are, what the capabilities might be between the two. Let's get into it. Looking at a small craft, what are you looking for, right? So you're looking for a decent little cargo. You want preferably a bed for logging out if you want to do that, and then a spot for the pilot, obviously. And then in this case, this one has 8 cargo in the back here. You could probably get a bit more, so that's good, much like the Cutter. But I like the difference on the Titan here compared to the others is it has 2 entry points in the front, one in the front and one in the back, much like these other 2 ships. And so when you're looking at a medium ship, what are you looking for? Increased cargo. And ideally, you want bigger guns as well to do stuff like better bounty hunting missions and whatnot, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But you have, some another amenities as far as cooking and whatnot, but that's really not important to the game currently, as well as a bathroom, but again, also not currently being utilized. But having the weapon lockers and the storage capabilities is definitely very nice, and something that really with the cargo changes, I'm surprised they didn't make a better pass on all the ships to address that. When you look, again, talking about components wise, you've got, well, before we get to that, you have obviously the bridge here and the room for yourself and a little crew if you'd like, and a decent amount of fire extinguishers throughout. But yeah, when you talk about the guns, really we're looking at only having 2 size 4s, whereas the Avenger had 1 size 4 and 2 size 3s. I think the Zeus needs some better guns, honestly. Would be kind of nice. That would make it a little more appealing to me. That's where it really fell short when I compared it to this and the Taurus. So when you get into the Taurus, a lot of the same capabilities, but you can already see with the cargo area and the accessibilities, you can actually get quite a few things in here. You can get a Fury in here, which is good because it doesn't have the snub fighter. It's got extra cargo in the back here. But having something like the Fury or a Nursa, adding a medical bed capability is all very big right now, given that you can spawn at all medical beds, which is an interesting change. Since I originally started, they didn't offer that capability. So I don't know. When you take a look at the large, there's a lot more modularity around what things you can bring with you and what capabilities those could possibly bring to you and your play style. Again, they both have the tractor beam, which is nice, and they both have the similar kind of amenities. But I don't know, just especially the guns and the cargo capability. The ease of access for both the cargo capabilities is about the same, but all in all, I mean, originally I thought I would like the Zeus. It would be a little more competitive with the Taurus, but it really just isn't. I don't know, for me at least it isn't. That obviously would change per player, but all in all, looking at the two, again, component-wise, the Taurus is just such a good daily driver king. Obviously, price comparison is also important, and so what is each jump getting you and more capabilities, this being $50 more in real world mining compared to the Zeus. It's just a nice little bump up. You can see the size comparison against the Tactical Dorito and the Taurus. Again, they're wider, the Tactical Doritos, the Zeus, but as far as actual size, I tried to line it up with the line as much as possible, but it's about a snub fighter longer. Maybe almost even the Avenger. I wish I'd brought the Avenger out here as well. Maybe the Avenger longer, but you can see on the backside here, obviously the Taurus doesn't have a snub fighter, but it's about where the nose of the snub fighter would be towards the rest of the ship. So, I mean, obviously it's longer. It's a medium craft versus a large craft here. But width-wise, it's also, well, I guess with the engines of the Taurus, it's about the same. But yeah, that Tactical Dorito, it definitely, I mean, it's like a Dorito. So the back end there is pretty wide for what it is. And yeah, so finalizing kind of my thoughts on the Zeus. I mean, it's a great ship. I like it. A great ship, as overdoing it maybe a bit, but it's It's a nice ship. Comparing it back again, talking about the Titan, it's a $90 difference in pledging price over that Titan, and then it's a $50 difference between it and the Taurus. So, I mean, for value of dollar to dollar, I think the Taurus is a better buy. That being said, comparing it, I don't know what the in-game price is going to be. Also, the respawn for it, like the claim, was super long. It was almost an hour. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's something they're wanting to increase the timing on it. It took longer to respawn this than it did the Taurus. At any rate, the point is not to like dog on the Zeus or anything. I think it's fine. Again, if you compare the guns, they're pretty close to something like the Avenger, which is a little unfortunate. I'd like to see like maybe 4 size 4s, or 2 size 4s and 2 size 3s or something like that. Maybe even a third size 4 would be nice, to kind of bump it up a bit. At any rate, it's fine. It's a good ship. Again, saying it's $90 difference versus the Avenger, so that's a big step up. But when you compare a $50 difference between it and the Taurus, I mean, the Taurus is just a nice upgrade. And obviously, if you CCU, you can make that price difference probably, you can definitely make it significantly smaller. But there's definitely good deals to be had there if you can do the CCU game, or just pay attention to what the CCU upgrades are going to be, and then get the Taurus at a decent price, because it's still achievable to get something like that. Or if you want to do the Andromeda, that's fine as well. But I mean, I enjoyed the Zeus. I enjoyed the time with it, but I was just a little, maybe lackluster is what I'm looking for here. Again, it's not to dog on the Zeus or anything like that, but I was expecting a bit more out of it. And some of it was server FPS as well, and the server stability was not super great. But when you compare it to something like the Taurus, there's really just the Taurus just needs the gold standard at this point. That really, looking at this ship, all it made me want is a gold standard pass on all ships. I think that's just really, that's what the Zeus tells me, is not that, oh man, I really need to get the Zeus. It's I really need to see the gold standard on a lot of these ships, especially with a lot of the cargo updates and stuff like that. I think they should spend next year, 2025, really doing the gold standard pass on all of these ships and just getting them updated and then releasing new ships. So it's all about the assets, I think, at this point. Getting more planets out there, getting more ships out there, giving better passes across the ships, and focusing on that next year would be a big win for me. And I'll be interested to see if that's what they're planning on doing at the CitizenCon. Anyways, thank you all for watching and catching this video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.